Okay, so we are doing close critical reading. So we're going to go over this in class, but in case you missed something, watch this. So you practiced CCR with Mrs. Bador at the beginning of the year, and you practiced it with Mrs. White, and now we're doing it together. So what I'm first going to do is just read through it. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to use this below. So I'm going to highlight 5 important key vocabulary items, okay? So 5, let me bold and underline that so we really notice it. So I'm going to highlight 5 important and key vocabulary things, underline the main ideas and definitions, and highlight transition words in green. So those are the things I'm thinking about while I'm going to be reading through it. We're also going to be filling out this page with any comments, questions, notes. We're going to write what comments, thoughts, or questions, connections, predictions we have. So what does it make us think of? What do we already know? This is where we should be putting some thoughts in here. I have 4, so you could do up to 4 or more. That's totally fine. Summary, this is where you'll type a summary, the main idea or the gist of what it was about, and the connection. So why is this reading important? How can you connect to this reading passage, or how does it affect the world around you? So what connections can you make to it? This is what we're thinking about before we read. So now I'm just going to read through just one time. So George Washington. George Washington was the first president of the United States and one of the country's founding fathers. He was born on February 22nd, 1732 in Virginia. His father died when George was 2 years old, but his older brother Lawrence helped take care of him. When he was 16, he began working as a surveyor, measuring lands and making maps. Before he became the president, he was a leader in the militia and fought in the French and Indian War. He then led the Continental Army to victory over the British during the American Revolution. He was unanimously elected as the first president of the United States in 1789. He was elected for a second term in 1793. A term is 4 years. He stepped down when his second term was complete because he felt it was important that a president not become too powerful or rule too long like a king. During those years, he helped define the role of the president. He established the Supreme Court, created laws for how people could become citizens, and decided that the capital should be along the Potomac River. The future, Washington, D.C. A couple of years after he left the presidency, he became sick with a bad cold and died on December 14th, 1799. Okay, so now I'm going to go through it doing the things I need to do. So I need to highlight 5 important key and vocabulary. So I need to go up here to my highlighter, pick the yellow, and then I am going to highlight. So finding important key terms. So I'm just going to kind of go back through. George Washington. Oh, well, his name right there, I feel like, is an important one. So I highlight this, go up to my highlighter, and click on yellow, and now his name is highlighted. Another key term or vocabulary, looking through, founding fathers. Founding fathers. So clicking down, dragging to highlight, and then going up to my highlighter and clicking on yellow. Just kind of skimming through with my eyes, measuring lands, became president. Presidents. That could be a good one. Highlighting. Leader in the militia fought in the French and Indian War. That's definitely one I recognize. He led the Continental Army. I could do that one. British and American Revolution. So just highlighting and clicking on my highlighter and my color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I already have 5. So if you want to do more, you can. I could keep going. Elected for a second term. Term could be a vocab word. Supreme Court. That could be a good one. So there are more than 5. So you're just finding 5 important and key vocabulary. So either important or key. So I'm done with the yellow part. Now I need to underline the main ideas and the definitions. So be looking through it. George Washington was the first president of the United States. Well, that sounds like a very key idea. So I'm going to go here And I highlight what I want, and then I go and I push the underline. He was born, and father died. He began working as a surveyor before he became president. He was a leader in the militia. Okay. I'm going to say he was a leader in the militia and fought in the French and Indian War and led the Continental Army. So these are other main ideas. So I'm going to underline. And those are kind of the main ideas. The rest is all about his presidency. So I'd say the main idea here is that George Washington was the first president and kind of what went along with that, right? Let's see if there's any other main ideas. He established Supreme Court. I would say this is a main idea too. He helped define the role of president. I'm going to underline that too. So I'm looking through for the things that I think most of this paragraph is about. And I'd say this is the kind of the three main ideas of it, and the rest of it goes along with those. Now I'm going to highlight transition words. So transition words. Okay, you've been practicing transition words with Miss Wesley, so hopefully those are fresh in your mind. But now I'm going to go back through my paragraph looking for transition words. So George Washington was the first president of the United States of the country. He was born, father died. Okay, so we've got some transition words, not quite so obvious yet. Let's see. Alrighty, so as I'm reading through, I'm just kind of looking for transition words. Ooh, this would probably be one, this little section here. So I highlight it, I go up to my highlighter, and I would do green. So when he was is a transition. Keep reading, survey, measuring lines. Ooh, before could be considered a transition. So I'm highlighting them and choosing the color. Before he became president, he was a leader in militia, French New War. He then, that's definitely a transition word. Led the Continental Army to victory against France. The British during could be considered one as well. American Revolution. He was unanimously elected first president. He stepped down when his second term was complete because he felt it was important for a president to there's one, during those years. So I'm just rereading it kind of quickly to myself. So if you don't read quickly like that, then just reread it at a regular pace and try to find all those transition words. Supreme Court, a couple of years, that would work. A couple of years after would be a transition. I think that's most of the ones there. So this is all things I could pull out as transition words. So highlight as many as you're able to find. That would be awesome. And we're also doing the 5 important key vocabularies, the yellow. So again, there are more key vocabulary. I just did 5 of them and then stopped. And so you could do that as well, or you could keep doing more. So I finished this part of the slide, right? I did the yellow part, I did my underlining, and I did my green transitions. So now I click to my next slide, and this is where I need to start entering my information. Okay, so I am curious about, let's think, right? What comments, thoughts, questions, or connections or predictions you have. So one of my comments was his brother. I'd like to know more about him. So he said his brother Lawrence raised him, but I'm curious about how much older he was. Like, what did he do? Was he also significant in history? I would be curious to know. Another connection I had was what we've already been learning about, right? So I can connect this to what I know about the French and Indian War. So he was a general in the French and Indian War, and I can connect that to what I already know. Let's see. I know he was successful at that. Oops. What other questions? I'm curious, how did he, let's think, get so sick from a cold? That seems strange to me. It's like a cold. Those are usually things that we just have and get better from. So how did he get so sick from a cold? Enough where he died from it. Another connection or prediction, let me think. I think from this, one other thing I was wondering about, I'd like to know more about the Supreme Court. So he established the Supreme Court, but I might not know what that is or what it does. So I would like to know more about the Supreme Court that he established. So here are those are just some of my comments, questions, and notes. So you should have at least 4 right there. Just some wonderings that you had while you were reading. What is the main idea or the gist? So what do we think the main idea is? I would say George Washington was the first president and was very influential on the future of this country. So I would say he was the first president and he was very influential on the future of our country, right? He established many very important things that we still have today, like our Capitol, the Supreme Court, the term limit, the 4-year term limit. So he had a big impact. So I would say that was our main idea. And then my connection. Why is this reading important? How can I connect this reading passage, or how does it affect the world around you? So this can kind of go along with my main idea. I would say this article explains a lot of of how our country came to be. It explains who created many things that still exist today in America. Oops. So this article explains a lot of how our country came to be. It explains who created many things that still exist today in America. So now I look through. Mine looks great here. I did all 3 of these things and then came here and filled out all 3 of these sections. When you have done those, your CCR is done. The one you'll be working on is about Benjamin Franklin. I'll share this out to you, and you will fill out the slide just how I did, and fill out this one as well. If you forget how to do it, then just skip around my video to find the part that you need to know more about.